Hello and welcome to Sunday, December 16th edition of Just TV Presents World of Sports with Rudy and Snides.
How's everybody doing?
We took last week off. I was in Edmonton. I'm going to explain what I did up there first. So I took last week off, went up to Edmonton for a charity hockey game. I'd like to give a shout out on Twitter here to Mike Dursa and Oilers Live, both named Mike there. They put on this great charity event in Edmonton. All the money raised came to Chinook Autism Society here in Lethbridge. Going to show the jersey here, Team Heavy Hockey. That's right, we won. We came out victorious. I think it was 10-5 or something. As I said, it was my very first time ever playing ice hockey, and I was not as good as I thought. So going to put my dreams of being an ice hockey player on the back burner a bit. But thanks to this event, we raised over $1,500 for Chinook Autism Society. All that money is going towards families in Lethbridge here who have kids on the autism spectrum that need sensory devices, weighted blankets, fidget cubes, anything low-income families in Lethbridge with kids with autism, any sensory needs that they need, that's coming from this event. So again, thank you, Mike and Mike Dursa and Oilers Live for putting this on for us. So as well, while I was in Edmonton, I'm going to say this was the best weekend of my entire life. Me and my son, we won tickets to the Edmonton Oil Kings game for the Saturday. That was their teddy bear toss as well. So, you know, over 10,000 people in attendance throwing teddy bears was just absolutely mind-blowing to see compared to a small city like Lethbridge, right? So that was very cool that we won tickets to that. And then the day after, the day of our charity hockey game there, people donated my family 4 tickets to the Edmonton Oilers versus the Calgary Flames. And that is my hockey mecca. If anyone knows me, they know I'm huge about the Battle of Alberta. Oilers die hard forever. And to be able to see my team in their arena was just, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. It was the most amazing experience I got to ever do. Birth of your kids and marriage is overrated, right? So that was probably, no, I'm kidding. That was like the third best weekend of my life. But Rogers Place, absolutely amazing building, absolutely mind-blowing to just, you know, I was walking through there, my mouth was dropped the whole time. I was fangirling pretty hard. It was really neat to see. So I'd like to thank everyone on the Oilers Twitterverse as well for pitching in, giving my family these tickets, because it truly was the most memorable weekend of our lives. I'm sure Jude will remember it forever. So thank you everyone who pitched in and got our family tickets to that. So Snides is back with me this week. He had to take a little breather last week there. We had Josh in the studio with us here. So Snides is in. How was your few weeks there?
Busy, man. Busy. I've hardly even been able to watch any hockey, but
ain't no rest for the wicked,
yeah,
right?
No.
Sporting the, let's see the jersey here.
Some old Hespler Rangers. Actually, I think it was like the early to mid 80s. Like most of the sticks were made in Hespler, and they're like a huge hockey town. They still are, but yeah, I found this at a thrift store like 20 years ago. Had my number on it, so grabbed it.
Very cool. Yeah, we're going to try and bring in different jerseys every week here, see what we can get going until the end of the season when I'm assuming it's going to be Josh who has to wear the Anaheim jersey, right?
Probably. Hopefully. Because that'll burn my skin.
So, Hope, my wife says, thanks to your wife for wrangling the kids while you enjoyed the hockey game. Yes, thank you so much. It was a little late for them, and she did wonders letting me live out my dream to watch my favorite hockey team in Rogers Place. So thank you, Hope, for that. Yeah, so we missed a few weeks. So I just kind of figured we'd kind of do an all-hockey episode today, because just filling in 2 weeks' worth of the entire major sports is going to take up most of the time for today. And we've been so busy, didn't really have a huge chance to prepare everything for today. So we're just going to sit back and chat some hockey today. We were just talking before we went live here. The stats for the season looks like Mikko Rantanen is still lighting up the league. 56 points. Was this his second year? So
Yeah, insane.
Yeah, pretty
That
wild.
line is just so good.
But Edmonton beat them, so. Goals, Alex Ovechkin, 29. He had 2 hat tricks in 2 games and 1 goal in the game after those. He could have been the first player to get 3 hat tricks in 3 games in NHL history, but that didn't happen. So, Ovi, lightening it up. He spent the whole summer drinking beer, and everyone was saying what's going to happen, but he hasn't missed a beat, man. He's still doing his thing. 30 goals so far. Are we going to see a 60-goal scorer, you think, this year?
I hope so. He was so pumped. You could tell when he won the cup, right? Like, he just now he really loves it.
Now he knows what it's like. He's gonna bust to get there every year now.
Get that taste of it. He's only got 5 years at the most left in him, really. Anyways.
Yeah. So 30 goals. He's 29 goals. He's at, and we're not even barely halfway to the season. So 60 goals is absolutely attainable for Ovi. Brad Marchand, 74 in penalty minutes, always leading that. The rat, eh?
Yeah, he's a bum.
Any Brad Marchand fans out there that wants to prove Ryan wrong, feel free to.
There's a few. He's a good hockey player, but he's just he's just a bum.
He's like Chuck and Kessler, right? You'd love him if he was on your team, but
yeah, not Kessler. I would still hate Kessler for sure if he was on San Jose, but Marchand, if he was on San Jose, I'd be like, yeah, I'd be defending him for sure.
So, a little bit of news going on. There was something going on today. There was reports out that Hackstall got fired in Philadelphia.
It was going to be, yeah.
And Quenneville taking over. It was all over. Even, Sportsnet and stuff tweeted it. And now
it just went away.
Yeah, now now Quenneville's saying that's not going on. So I don't know what's happening there. But, apparently it was all everywhere, and now it's nowhere. So we'll keep you updated on that next week, or unless something comes live across the stove here. Calgary Flames, man, you guys are, not even Calgary, the whole Pacific Division is doing so good this year that it's like Edmonton's finally getting better, and we can't catch a break. Calgary keeps winning. Anaheim keeps winning. Vegas won today, so they're at 40 points right now, 3rd spot in the Pacific. We're in a pretty tough division now, eh?
I think there's 2 divisions are tough. Metropolitan and the Pacific are the toughest right now. Because everybody's pretty even. I mean, even Edmonton's doing all right and can't get into that top 3.
Yeah, and the second last is Vancouver with 34 points. They're only 3 games out from Edmonton, from 3rd place in the division. Los Angeles, I think it's fair to say that their season's pretty much done. 11-20-3, 25 points in 34 games.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see, right? I mean, we knew it was gonna catch up eventually with LA with their huge Kopitar signing at $10 million, and now they have all this cap hit and guys that are over 30 years old, right? Yeah. So it was bound to happen that they're gonna fall back to earth. But Rob Blake is still in control there, so we'll see if he has any moves up his sleeve. One thing I don't understand with LA, after this coaching change that they did, Ilya Kovalchuk has been on the 4th line. Now, if I'm Rob Blake, I say, I don't care who the coach is, this guy needs to play more because we brought him out of retirement from the NHL, paying him all this money, and you're putting him on the 4th line. Like, what do you think of that?
Especially when you're losing games. He's probably a pain in the ass, though. Just from him leaving and coming back, he's getting old, so I can see why they're doing it. Maybe it's like a dressing room issue or an issue with players just not having lots of respect for him, because I think that fans don't have a lot of respect for him anymore after he kind of just ditched and came back. But still, the point is to win games. Bottom line, right? You need to win games for the fans, for your team,
And if I'm Ilya Kovalchuk too, I'm complaining to Rob Blake. I came out of retirement. I had 20 plus NHL teams that wanted to sign me, and I specifically signed with you. And now I'm a 4th liner. I just don't get that situation, and I'd like to see. I think we'll see maybe some trades going on. I think Kovalchuk will probably get traded if they keep doing that bad. Looks like your boss is commenting
Yeah.
here. Hey, she wouldn't know anything about being pain in the butt. Hey, we should maybe get Erica in here for a sports show one day. What do you think?
I don't think she does sports very much, but
well, we can always try. So the Pacific Division, it's still fighting. Vegas is doing good, and I hope the Oilers can keep up the way we're playing. We're 9-2-2 under Coach Hitchcock, Coach of the Year. If we get into the playoffs, I would say Jack Adams finalist. What do you think of that?
Oh, I don't know about that, but maybe.
What about Mikko Koskinen, undefeated at home?
Yeah.
And out of minimum 10 games played, he's like second in save percentage and goals against. What do you think if he continues the way he's doing and we earn the playoffs? Do you think he could be a Vezina finalist?
Oh, maybe. That's so hard to tell right now. But yeah, I mean, if he continues to play like this.
I love Koskinen. If he re-signs in Edmonton, I'm getting his jersey because how often do you see a goalie with the jersey number 19? Right?
Yeah, that's true too.
Never seen that.
Yeah.
So I got to get his jersey if he re-signs. That's my next jersey purchase is Mikko Koskinen in Edmonton. Truly amazing watching them live. I can't get that out of my head how cool that was. So I'm going to try and get up to the next Calgary-Edmonton show, Battle of Alberta in Calgary in April. So I'm going to be trying to make that. It looks like Chicago and St. Louis are still skidding there. St. Louis, I don't know if everyone saw, but they had a few scuffles in practice there. Had a few
and then they
teammate
signed
fights.
Bertuzzo this morning to
Yeah.
like a $4 million deal.
3 years, 1.325. I would sign that. I love Bortuzzo. I think he's just a great defenseman, always back there in your third defenseman line. So
And say what you want about what happened at that practice. Like, St. Louis needs to do something.
Well, and then the day after, 2 days after, they bring their little puppy service dog onto the ice to make sure no fights continue. So
lighten stuff up a bit with the puppy. That always works.
Yeah. Everyone loves puppies. I don't like full-grown dogs, but I like puppies.
Yeah, puppies are cool.
So if you're just tuning in, you're watching World of Sports on Just TV here, our first show in 2 weeks here. We're going to try and talk all hockey today. If we run out of stuff, we can go do some news from other sports. But this is an open audience discussion as well. So if anyone wants to chirp us or continue on with any discussions we're having, please feel free to comment. It's always fun. I'm waiting for Josh to say Vancouver is going to destroy Edmonton tonight, and then I'm going to say, no, that's not happening, and it's just going to go back and forth. So waiting for Josh to jump in on that there. Calgary Flames destroyed the Blues today, 7-2, man. They got 12 goals in 2 games, Calgary. Like, they just do not go away. They can be losing until 2 minutes left in the third. They'll score 2 goals and come back and get the 2 points. Like, it's really annoying, Calgary. Can you just start losing, please, for me? Like, please? Anyways. But you lost in the Battle of Alberta and Edmonton in a shutout, so...
I was reading today about their stadium situation again, too. And how there's it's mostly just fan rumors and stuff, but of them being relocated completely if they can't get a. It almost happened to the Islanders, right? And then they built that.
Barclays, yeah. I would say with relocation, and it's also between Calgary and Ottawa. Ottawa needs a new arena as well. So there is lots of relocation rumors. $600 million is the estimate for a new arena in Calgary. I guess they're just trying to blow Rogers Place out of the water, which isn't going to happen. But $600 million, the arena situation doesn't even work only for hockey. So many concert events are skipping Calgary completely and going right to Edmonton or Vancouver, right? Calgary's losing out on so many concerts because that building's just so old and just ancient, right? It doesn't have the technology.
It's the third oldest in the league.
Yeah.
It's Madison Square Garden and Nassau, I think.
Yeah, and the Islanders are back and forth,
Yeah.
it seems, now between Barclays and Nassau. Same situation in Ottawa, though, with the new arena. So we'll keep a track of that. Florida, man, I saw a promotion Florida had. if you go to, I don't remember if it was a gas station or what, but you buy 2 bottles of Coca-Cola, you get 2 free tickets to an NHL game.
Yeah.
What kind of, like, honestly,
I'd be going all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I'd have they were charging $125 or something for season tickets, man.
Just to get people in the seats drinking beer and
like you watch a game live in Florida and you see the camera scroll past and you see maybe 4 fans in the whole shot. Like it's outrageous. So what I hear is I guess the big news since our last show. Seattle will be in the league, another expansion team. That it's going to be for the 2020 season, 2021.
Yeah, 2021 they'll be playing.
If there's no lockout, let's remember everyone's saying there's probably going to be a lockout soon. Please, no more lockouts. The last lockout that happened, because I wasn't watching hockey, my wife got pregnant. So
yeah, so we need hockey.
Yeah, honestly. So with Seattle coming in, that'll put us at 32 teams. And they want to keep it at that. They don't want to go down to 31. They don't want to dissolve a team like Florida or something. I see Florida maybe moving to Houston. Houston's wanted a team forever. They have an owner.
That was the rumor with
Calgary
that I was reading today. Is
Calgary as well.
Whoever owns the place where the Rockets play, I can't remember his name, but he's always wanted like an NHL team because hockey is super big in Texas. It always was, right? Like college hockey and stuff in Texas, it's really big.
And they totally got the fan base for it. That'd be a great rivalry, Houston versus Dallas. Like
totally. Yeah.
I definitely want to see an NHL team there. Definitely, I think they should move the Florida Panthers because when you get 1,000 people at your games, how are they even making money? How are they still in the league? So that's what I hope to see. Florida moves to Houston. Calgary, of course, gets a new arena. We're all hoping. Ottawa, if they don't get a new arena, move them to Quebec. Keep them in Canada. Let's keep it at 8 teams. We have 7 teams. I'd like to see a team in Houston. So that's what I'm hearing is the NHL wants to keep it at 32 teams, keep that even. So that's why I think they won't dissolve a team like Florida. But how cool would that be to see a dispersal draft?
Yeah,
that'd be pretty neat. Eh?
Just see how they do it.
I'd imagine it'd go from the bottom of the standings up. Yeah. So your Barkov and Huberdeaus are going to go to your whatever teams are last, right?
Yeah.
So be interesting to see how that would work if there
has that ever happened even where they just completely dissolved a team. Maybe
before our time for sure.
In like the merger in like '79 when Gretzky came in, right?
Yeah, and the Golden Seals and all that. Maybe
and when the WHA merged with the NHL, and then they probably got rid of a couple teams.
Yeah, so
just reminds me of semi-pro, right?
Yeah,
that's kind of how they did
Jackie
it.
Moon. Gary Bettman, I know you're watching. Let us know what the plan is here. Keep us posted, Gary. That'd be great. And feel free to comment, Gary. We're all here to have a discussion here. What do you think it's controversial how all the players and anyone really who gets into the Hall of Fame, they have to wait the 5 years after retiring, but Gary Bettman gets put into the Hall of Fame and he's still working?
I get a lot of slack for this, but I like him. I think that it's like when people get on the referee's case. So the bottom line is somebody has to make those calls, somebody has to make those decisions. And I always ask people, I'm like, you hate Bettman, but could you make those decisions? And there's much more to it than what fans see or what fans think they know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that lockout wasn't just him.
Yeah.
Right? It was him and the players, and a lot of people just, the players obviously want to play, but they get paid a lot of money to play.
There's no.
And I think that I think he saved the league. I really do. After that lockout.
There's no doubt
a deal was made, and
in the '90s he helped grow the game immensely. But you look at the track record; he is responsible for 2 lockouts. That's just the words, right? He's responsible for 2 lockouts under his management. But he did help grow it immensely. I don't think it's fair. You got to have that 5 years between retirement. I mean, that's how it goes for all the players other than Gretzky, right?
Yeah. Even though I like him, I don't think he should be in the Hall of Fame until he's done, at least, right? Just like a player.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. You should be retired. You shouldn't have an active contract as what he is and getting into the Hall of Fame.
It just makes it look sketchy too. Like he's like, "Hey, get me into the Hall of Fame." And
exactly.
Like, I don't know if we should do that. And he's like, "Do you know who I am?"
A couple Benjamins under the table.
Yeah, I guess we'll put you in the Hall of Fame. Make a little bust of you and throw you in there.
So, how's Toronto doing? Are they still keeping up with the last time we looked? Looks like they got 33 games played, 21, 10, and 2. Have you watched any games? How's Nylander doing after coming back?
I haven't watched any. I know their power play's slipping a little bit because it's been working all the time. So then people or other teams really start watching, right? Like,
yeah,
what they're doing. So their power play's slipping a little bit, but they're still doing pretty good. They don't play today. The big game tonight, or that just started, is this Tampa-Winnipeg game.
Yeah,
you should be watching.
Winnipeg's such a good team. You know who I love watching in Winnipeg is Mark Scheifele, man.
Yeah,
his hockey smarts are just otherworldly. Like just watching the last game against Edmonton. He knows where the puck's going, where it's going to be. Like watching Mark Scheifele is truly awesome because he is such a good player. And Laine's still lighting it up, so we talked the last few weeks what his contract might look like being an RFA at the end of the year. 2019, the summer of 2019 is going to be absolutely huge for RFA signings. I cannot wait. You got Rantanen, Laine, Besser, Kachuk.
Yeah.
Like all these big names that are due for big raises coming up here. So it's going to be exciting to see what's going on with that. Let's talk local for a second here. Lethbridge has been absolutely lighting it up lately. Go Hurricanes. Big trade that happened. Me and Josh talked about it there. We got Henry and Lazishin from the Regina Pats, and a few players. Jaden Joseph went the other way, and 7 draft picks. Turns out to be working pretty darn good for the Hurricanes here. So they're in Calgary right now. They're playing second period. It is tied 2-2. Last time I saw it was 1-0. So goals by Bellerive and Lazishin, it looks like. Those pickups have been absolutely massive. So Peter Anholt looks like he's going for it all this year. He wants the Hurricanes to get far in the playoffs this year. And even their backup goalie, Carl Tedachuk, young kid, he's lights out. Absolutely. He's almost taken over the starter's role because he's been so lights out, this Tedachuk kid. So Hurricanes are rocking it. Great to see. Love seeing our local sports teams doing good.
I love watching the Hurricanes. Well, I mean, when they're winning, because I'm kind of fair weather with the Lethbridge Hurricanes. I'm more just focused on NHL, but they're so much fun to go to the games.
Yeah.
Like when that place is packed.
Like they played last night there. They played Kamloops Blazers, and they got over 5 goals in that game. So everyone in attendance got free burgers, free JBCs. I love it because when there's 4 goals in the game, all the fans start cheering, "We want burgers! We want burgers!" And it's pretty cool to hear 4,000 some people screaming at the top of their lungs that they want burgers, because who doesn't, right? So Lethbridge Hurricanes, keep it up. They're doing so well. I'd like to see if this raises Nick or Dylan Cousins' draft stock. Me and Josh were talking earlier today. Josh thinks he's going to be top 5. I think he's still top 10, around 7 or so. I think he's going, but I love seeing our local boys being on the draft.
Just anywhere in the first round is nice.
What was the last one we were talking about? I think it was Brent Seabrook in the last Hurricane. Other than like Addison last year, he was late first rounder, I think. But in top 10, the top 10 was the last one was Brent Seabrook, which I still have autographed mini stick from when I was a little kid, and his bobblehead from bobblehead night in like 2004 or something like that. I still got all that stuff. So, yeah, Hurricanes, keep it up. You guys are doing awesome, and Lethbridge is behind you. We love our team here. So, keep it up, Lethbridge. Any other hockey stuff you want to throw out there today?
I was reading on the Saban injury still. There's a lot of rumors going around. They're not really saying what's wrong with him. He's supposed to be back soon.
He He's dating Lindsey Vonn now, hey?
Who's that?
The United States gold Olympian skier.
Oh, okay.
She dated Tiger Woods for a while.
Oh, nice.
So, you know, Lindsey Vonn likes the colored fellers there. Clefbaum, he got injured. He broke his pinky, a few bones in his pinky.
Yeah, he crushed it pretty good.
And they're saying 6 to 8 weeks that he's out.
Yeah.
Is that realistic? Like, that seems like a far shot.
I mean, you just played your
finger.
You just played your first ice hockey game. I mean, when you shoot that puck,
yeah,
a lot of power comes off from any like tiny hand injury.
I just don't see how broken pinky is a 6 to 8 week injury, but we'll keep it up there. Darnell Nurse has slid into the first defensive role there with Adam Larson. He's been playing pretty good. He's got like 5 points in 4 games or something like that. Andre Sekera should be back after the Christmas break, or maybe 2 weeks into January there. We should get Reggie back on the blue line.
That's good for Nurse, though. I like Nurse a lot. I didn't like him when he first came in. He seemed just, I don't know, a little arrogant, but that comes with being a professional athlete too, I guess.
Yeah. And we see with Ken Hitchcock taking over, Ty Ratty kind of being in the doghouse again with Hitchcock. He was originally with St. Louis. He was in the doghouse with them, and now here. So a lot of people were saying with Ty Ratty, if he's stuck on McDavid's wing, he's going to get 40 goals this year. And well, that didn't happen. So that's Alex the Answer Chase on. He already beat his career high in goals. And you know it's the McDavid effect, right? When Patrick Maroon can score 27 goals in a year on McDavid's wing, and Chason's already at 14 or 15, like, you can pretty much slot me or Ryan on McDavid's wing, and we're going to score 40 goals no problem, right? So it just goes to show what type of world-class player he truly is. The behind-the-net goal the other night there, too, against Minnesota, or Philly there, the behind-the-net goal, that was really neat. Just great to see otherworldly players like that, and Scheifele, and it's you know, for the next Olympics, if NHL players are allowed to go, we're going to absolutely blow away the competition, I think.
I hope so.
Like, yeah, the USA has Besser, and there's Peterson and Sweden and all that, but Canada, with McDavid's never played in the Olympics, so he's going to have a new fire if he gets to that shot, right?
That would be nice to see.
I think they'd have Crosby there just for the name, but other players that were used to the Getzlaffs and the Thorntons, right? They're not going to be there, so it's going to be Scheifele will be there for sure, I'm betting. Even players like Jamie Benn, maybe he's coming to his end of Olympian days. I would still have him on that team personally.
Definitely.
But, the Olympics, 2 more years? 3 more years? We'll hopefully see if NHL players can go.
I hope so. I didn't even watch the last Olympic hockey because I want to see the best play. And I know there's a whole big, huge discussion about that, but I didn't watch because of that.
Same boat, same here. I mean, I watched a few games because our local boy, Robbie Klinkhammer from Lethbridge, Alberta here was playing for the Canadian Olympic team. So I did catch a few games, but, you know, when it's NHL players, you're going to watch every single game. And that's just let's hope that happens, because that's IOC, International Olympic Committee. I know you're watching. Listen to us, right? We know what we're talking about. We're going to watch it. You know, just make sure. Gary Bettman, too. I know you're watching. Let's make sure we have NHL
Let's make
players
it happen. Let's make it happen
at the next Olympics, right? Like, I'll set it up, okay? I'll help out. Just give me a shout here. Yes, I did mention the charity game. Thank you very much. I started off with that because it was just such a great event. Mike Dursa and Mike Hebert there putting on a great event. We're raising over $1,500 for autism sensory toys for Lethbridge, Alberta here. So I can't speak enough high things about those guys. So thank you very much for doing that. A couple minor trades in the NHL. Cracknell to Anaheim from Toronto for Steve Alexi, kind of minor league deal there. So nothing big going on. People are saying we're going to have some trades coming in before the Christmas break, which is coming up pretty quick here. Oilers have a few games left.
Being talked about.
There's some big news.
Pretty heavy right now. St. Louis needs to do something.
So St. Louis, Doug Armstrong, the GM there, saying everyone is available.
Yeah,
no one is
the whole
safe.
team on the block. Yeah,
man,
he wants to make a deal.
Like, you're automatically out of the mix because San Jose can't afford a 7.5 million player.
Not.
So
yeah.
I'm kind of hoping, maybe Armstrong likes Puljujärvi or something. Maybe he'll take Talbot.
Yeah, there's enough scoring talent on Edmonton that they might be able to make a deal. But I don't think he'll go there either.
No. I just like to imagine Tarasenko on McDavid's wing, man. I would put Draisaitl back on a second line or something. I don't know. That's why I was actually voted Armchair GM of the Year last year, so I don't know if anyone knows that, but Armchair GM of the Year right here.
We should buy a team.
Right? We should, absolutely. Could I just borrow
we could probably buy
mil?
Yeah, well, we could probably afford Florida Panthers.
Move down south. True, right? That should only be like $250 million or so.
Take out a loan.
So if anyone has 250 or so million bucks and they want to go in with me and Snides here on buying the Florida Panthers, how about we buy them for that, and then we sell them to the dude in Houston for like double that.
Yeah. Just flip them
quick. We're set.
Yeah.
Then we'll buy the Hurricanes and go from there.
Oh yeah, the Hurricanes. Well, they won today, but they beat Arizona, so not that great. They're not playing Svechnikov enough. I don't understand why.
Yeah,
I would be, especially when you're losing games and you're like trying to get fans to come in. Like, he went second overall. He's good, and he's not playing. They're just not playing him. I don't understand why, and nobody really does, except for the team, the coach, the GM of Carolina. But
it's such a weird thing going on in Carolina, how the owner is being so involved in everything, how he had to fight tooth and nail pretty much to get a GM who wanted to work for him because he only wanted to pay them $70,000 a year. I don't know. It was really low though. It was a low number. But yeah, he came out with some comments the other day too. He said, "I'm taking a defenseman in the first round every single year."
Like, why? That's just like nonsense.
And it's already Carolina. They're already so stacked. Hamilton, Jake Bean, Hayden Fleury, Slavin, Pesci, like, they are such a stacked defensive team. He kind of needs some upfront scoring. So we'll see, I guess, what Carolina does at the draft. But the owner flat out saying he's only going to draft defensemen in the first round. So I guess we'll see if that works for you, Carolina. I mean, it's kind of worked so far. You did that trade for Hamilton, for Hanifin, so, and Ferland and everyone else who's involved in that one there, Elias Lindholm. So, St. Louis, everyone on the chopping block there. Pietrangelo, rumored to, who isn't always rumored to go to the Maple Leafs, but there was apparently a trade.
They've finally been getting some players, actually, though. Everybody's always rumored to go there and nobody ever goes, but then
there was a trade supposedly in the works that was William Nylander plus for Pietrangelo, and Toronto didn't go through with it. I wonder if they're kind of kicking themselves now, because Nylander hasn't really been playing up to snuff. Yeah, he's missed however many months since October, but
that trade could still happen.
Absolutely, yeah.
And maybe now's the time it happened. I mean, Nylander just signed that deal, but somebody's got to go next year in Toronto.
And, like, I would hate to be Kyle Dubas right now because Marner is playing so good.
Yeah.
And Matthews, and they're both RFAs. Yeah. Like, what's going to happen there, man? Because they signed Nylander. They still have Marlowe for $6.7 million or so. How are they going to fit it all in? I wonder if a big trade's going to go down. It's got to be, right?
They got to trade. It won't be Matthews, but Marner or Nylander for sure.
And there's, me and Josh, I think, talked about it. A lot of talk about Matthews being offer sheeted. And a lot of people actually said, it kind of made me think, because everyone said, I would absolutely give up 4 first-round picks to offer sheet him. Not every first-round pick makes it out of the draft, right? Makes it onto an NHL team. So, if you were Phoenix Coyotes, would you give up 4 first-round picks to offer sheet your hometown boy of Austin Matthews for like $14 to $15 million a year for 8 years?
Oh, that's so tough because Arizona's not going to be any good in the next 3 or 4 years, so they're going to have a high first round all the time. It's tough to say. Nowadays, too, the draft pool, especially like the first 2 rounds, are like really good, right? Like it's not guys like drinking whiskey and smoking cigarettes anymore like it was. Like everybody that makes it into that first round of the draft, they're like hard workers. You know, they grew up hockey. That's what all they do. But still, to get Matthews to play, I'd give something up for sure.
You do it?
That'd be a tough one. Not 4.
That's what it's going for. The offer sheet. Tough one, hey?
Because like, what's Matthews going to fix in Arizona though, too?
I think it's just the poster boy.
That's true.
Get people to come to games. Boy.
All you need really is to fill seats to like keep going. Realistically,
I'm trying to find the central scouting list here, because draft time is always an exciting time of year, and I always mention Dylan Cousins because he's a Lethbridge Hurricane, but me and Josh were talking earlier. Capo Caco, who's playing pretty amazing. Yeah. Jack Hughes, of course, a consensus first overall pick. Me and Josh were talking, you think Vancouver, if they finish in the top 5 but not first, do you think they would try and swing a deal to get to that first overall so the Hughes brothers can play together?
Maybe.
That would definitely mean like a Horvat or something like that going the other way, right? Yeah. Obviously not Besser or Peterson, but Yoel Levy probably. I don't know, but I think they would absolutely try to get into the top, to get that first overall pick, have the Hughes brothers play together.
That'd be a pretty big part of their huge rebuild that they're in the middle of, too. Looking at Central Scouting List, Jack Hughes, consensus first overall of the United States development. Capo Caco, second overall, he's lighting it up. Bowen Byram, top 5, he's with the Vancouver Giants in the Western Hockey League. He's doing amazing. He's a great left-handed shot. Kirby Doc out of the Saskatoon Blades. Lots of WHL prospects actually in this draft. Byram, Cousins, Doc. Nolan Foote out of Kelowna, who is actually being coached by his dad in Kelowna. Adam Foote took over the coaching a few weeks ago there. There's been reported rifts between him and ownership, but that's either here nor there. I did not get confirmation because I do actually have a source in the Kelowna Rockets organization, so I did not get any confirmation on that rumor. But Krebs, lots of WHL guys slated for this draft coming up, so always good to see as a Western Canadian. Lots of hockey prospects moving on to the big leagues here. Current scores NHL right now. Once again, you're watching World of Sports on Just TV with Rudy and Snides. This is open discussion, so if anyone watching would like to weigh in on anything, want to chirp us or ask us any questions or anything like that, feel free. Please comment. Let's keep it PG-13 though. Or let's keep it PG. Right? Let's keep it PG. Anyways, current scores. Ryan's San Jose Sharks are down right now in Chicago. 3-2. Chicago's winning that one. All those goals are by people that don't really score. DeBrincat scored the first one for Chicago. Everybody else is just a bunch of third liners.
After that trade, Dylan Strome and Perlini to Chicago.
Scored,
Love that trade.
They both scored, actually.
Yeah. Dylan Strome and Perlini both scored today. Bring back the magic of the Erie Otters with DeBrincat and Dylan Strome. So I absolutely love that trade. I think Bowman definitely saved his butt there from getting fired with that one, and
definitely
I think he saved the future there because they again have guys that are getting old, and he got 2 younger guys there that have only the ceiling to get better. So. We also have Tampa Bay and the Jets here. Tampa up 1-0. This is live on Sportsnet if you're all watching at home. Winnipeg Jets will they'll come back. They're such a good team. 21-9-2, 25-7-1 for the
This
Lightning.
Is the game to watch today for sure too. Like powerhouse offensive teams. Both goaltenders are doing awesome. Just
could be a preview of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah,
it very well could be.
Yeah,
I'd like to see a Canadian team get there. If I have to, I'll cheer for the Jets. And, it's going to be hard to cheer for Calgary. ABC, right? Anyone but Calgary.
Yeah. I would still cheer for Calgary.
If it came to like a Game 7 Stanley Cup Final in overtime.
I even cheered for Vancouver when they were in the finals.
2011 there. That's when Milan Lucic was good.
I don't remember when he was good.
When he was a Vancouver Giant.
Okay.
Buffalo and Boston. Buffalo, Cinderella story. Last time we aired here, they were first in the league. They dropped a few games since then, so they're sitting third in the Atlantic now. 19-9-5. So it looks like the Buffalo curse is finally lifted.
And Skinner is playing awesome there. He's like at a point per game right now. He has 22 goals.
He worked himself into a big contract for sure. Because
And
originally
he's
it was
performing,
between 5 to 6. Now they're literally looking between 7 and 9. That's what I heard.
Yeah, he's performing though. He's scoring all the time.
Do you think they can afford to re-sign him at that?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, for sure.
You think they will?
You'd want to keep him there
because there's so many up and comers. Obviously, Dahlin is in his first year of his ELC. Reinhardt, I think, is due for raise anytime soon, but it's nice to see Buffalo, these bottom scraper teams, Edmonton included. Nice to see these teams that were always finishing last doing a lot better now, and it's good to see teams like LA really struggling.
That's great.
Chicago, it's great to see those two teams struggle because.
Well, I mean, they were championship teams for a while too, right? LA and Chicago both, and now other teams are coming up, and it shows definitely there's more parity in the league.
Yeah,
which is kind of the whole idea of where we wanted hockey at, not the New York Rangers just buying players or the Canadians or
no
whatever,
super
right?
teams yet. You were talking about Skinner here. He got 2 goals today to put him to 24 goals. Jack Eichel with 3 points, 2 assists, and a goal. Rasmus Dahlin with an assist. Sam Reinhart with an assist.
The guys that should be getting points are getting points there. It's good to see.
Great young team. We did hear actually out of Buffalo a few days ago that they have suspended forward Patrick Berglund indefinitely. He failed to show up for the team flight to wherever they were flying to. So I know he was upset because he was being scratched, and he's a $4 million player, and they're scratching him, and then he just doesn't show up. So if anyone's a Buffalo Sabres fan out there and they know anything about this or want to weigh in at all, feel free to comment here. I have one buddy who's a huge Buffalo Sabres fan, and that's exactly what he told me. He just didn't show up for the team flight, so...
And that's crazy. Isn't part of the job riding the bench sometimes?
Yeah,
you play the fourth line or you get scratched. You have to show up for work.
I'm a pretty big fan of him too. I loved him with St. Louis.
Yeah.
I remember the draft that he got drafted in, and I always wanted him to be an Oiler. Everyone's getting up there in age now though, but I'd trade Lucic.
Is there anybody that you wouldn't want on Edmonton? That's good though.
I don't know.
Who's your most hated player in the whole league?
If I had to pick my most hated player other than Ryan Kessler?
Yeah, no. Obviously, he's just everybody's number one.
Yeah, it's just a given. Ryan Kessler's number one. The Turtle Boy, Matt Tkachuk.
Yeah. Okay.
Matt the Turtle Tkachuk.
Okay.
Oh, now it goes quiet. We're talking road hockey today with Cody, who's a hardcore Flames fan, and he wants Tkachuk to have the captaincy after Gio's done. What do you think of that?
That's just Cody talking. Yeah, you can't really listen to anything he says.
I say
he knows hockey though. He knows what he's talking about, but he just likes to troll people and get people worked up about it.
I say if Tkachuk gets more money than Monahan or Goudreau, then he should have the captaincy. If he's at the same or lower, it should be Monahan. That's where I stand on that.
Yeah, I think it should be Monahan too. But it's not always about the money either, right? It's about dressing room stuff,
Yeah. And are they? I was asking Cody as well if he thinks they might go after these big name goalies, Bobrovsky or even Talbot, who is going to be a UFA at the end of the year. Do you see Calgary making
a
it?
big one.
Because it's always been an issue, goaltending. Cody thinks big save Dave Rittich is going to be the starting goalie next year. Toss Mike Smith to the side, right? Because he's just miserable, that guy. But are the Calgary Flames, are they going to go after a big UFA goalie? Bobrovsky, Talbot, whoever else is out there. Anyone wants to weigh in, feel free to comment here. I know there's some Calgary Flames fans in town here, so feel free to comment what you think is going to happen. Me and Josh had the discussion too about Vancouver, who he thinks should get the captaincy there. His consensus is Bo Horvat.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I don't see who else they'd really give it to right now. There's
Pedersen's too young.
Yeah, he will have it if he stays there, for sure.
Yeah.
I hate Vancouver so much, but I like watching that kid play.
Yeah, he's a pretty exciting kid to watch, and he was on.
I like the Swedes too. They're good hockey players. They're
always exciting.
Yeah.
He was on Hockey After Hours on Hockey Night in Canada last night, and quite a small kid. Like, just once he fills out, I can see him being like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Once he fills out, gets some muscle, right, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure. And especially if Vancouver can somehow manage to get that first overall pick and Jack Hughes to play with his brother, they're going to be a pretty good powerhouse team. Me and Josh were also talking about goalie situation in Vancouver. Do you go full-time with Thatcher Demko next year?
Who knows? We're only like halfway through.
Because Nielsen's got to be done there, right? You got to at least have Demko up with the big team, whether it's backup or starter.
I don't know how concerned they are with, like, getting somebody big in net right now. They need to
shore up their defense for sure.
Yeah, they need to just start winning games.
I'm also excited to see next year Colorado's defense. I'm a huge fan of Cale Makar out of the Brooks Bandits here. And from talking to my sources, my buddies, everyone's saying this kid is going to be absolutely fantastic with the Avalanche next year. He's still playing college hockey.
Yeah, he's tiny too. He's only like 5'11".
Yeah,
but he's like a fast defenseman. He's got an awesome shot on him.
Yeah, so
I watched him in the juniors. I have him on my fantasy team too, so I've been watching him for a couple of years now.
And Colorado's doing so great right now to be adding players of his caliber next year. Like, just watch out, right? Tyson Jost, I love watching him as well. Great story there with his family and him making the NHL. So, love all those stories. Rantanen's obviously going to expect 7 to 10 mil. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, I think he deserves it.
And if I'm not mistaken, Varlamov is a free agent, so there's also Colorado who could be looking for a goalie change. As an Oilers fan, I'm hoping they re-sign Koskinen because I want that jersey, but also because he's pretty fantastic. He's such a big boy that I think players get, when they look at him, they're just, where do I shoot?
Yeah.
Right? There's nowhere to shoot. It's not like Scott at road hockey, right, where you see so many.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That giant 10-hole. But we'll see what happens on that aspect there. Any other hockey stuff we should throw out there, man?
I don't think anything really relevant right now. I hope Quenneville does get hired there, though.
In Philly?
Yeah. I have a really good buddy that's a Flyers fan, so I watch Philadelphia a lot. I love Giroux. I think he's
pretty good.
Like,
he's feisty, that one.
Yeah. He'd just be like an awesome dude to hang out with.
We were talking earlier at Road Hockey that I think Nolan Patrick would have lit it up. He would have done a lot better on not Philly because they have so much center depth.
Yeah.
That he doesn't get the playing time he deserves. I'm a big fan of Nolan Patrick, and I think he should have way more playing time, especially as a right-handed shot. Those are few and far between, really, in today's NHL. But I'd like to see Nolan Patrick maybe on a different team or something. They have such good depth. Couturier, Konechny, Giroux. How is Philly not doing that good? Like it's always goaltending issues.
They have huge goaltending issues. But
since 2010 that they were in the Cup Finals with Chicago, so that's 8 years. They've gone through like 15 goalies, 14 different goalies in that number, right? outrageous, and they're still paying Brizgalov to not be there.
Yeah.
Why you have to be mad?
As far as weird goalies too, he was one of the weirdest.
Oh, I loved him.
Yeah.
I loved him as well. Baron Woods. The universe is so huge. And he actually did some shows on, was it TSN or Sportsnet?
Yeah.
He was a commentator on there. Yeah, the Flyers are still paying him. What another thing I read, Rick DiPietro is still on the Islanders payroll for 8 more years or something at 1.5.
2020 he starts getting just $1 million a year for 7-8 more years. But yeah, I remember when that deal happened, even I was like, hey, listen, I'm no like NHL businessman or anything, but what just happened? Like, you've got to be kidding.
And I think just now this year, Yashin just came off the books.
Yeah. There's a couple. Nothing as long as DiPietro though.
No, not the 15-year deal like that. Was that Milbury's doing? I can't remember who was the GM at that time, but it sounds like a Milbury move, right?
Yeah.
Of course, the famous Mike Milbury giving up on Zdeno Chara and Roberto Luongo from their early days in the Islanders, getting rid of them when they were young for Richard Zednick and whoever, right?
Yeah.
So, if anyone knows if that was Mike Milbury who signed those contracts with Yashin and DiPietro, let me know, because I'd like to know who that GM was, if he's still around in the league even. Bob Nicholson comes out and says if the Oilers make the playoffs, Peter Chiarelli's job is safe.
I was reading a little bit about that today too.
Think that's fair?
I don't know. It's a tough place to be.
If it was me, I would make him POHO, president of hockey operations, and just get a new general manager. So he's still around. You're not paying him to not be there. But you have a new general manager, Keith Gretzky, whoever, right?
But keeping them like that tight in the organization too, like, is everybody going to listen to a new GM, or are they just going to go with what he's saying still?
I absolutely hate the nepotism with the Oilers. You know, they always hire family members. Bob Nicholson's wife just wrote that book, and they're pushing that book hardcore.
Well, you want like-minded people to work with you, but sometimes it's not always.
Like Chiarelli's son works in the organization. Like the nepotism is just. Daryl Cates just needs to sell a team, and that new owner needs to just wipe the slate clean, or something needs to happen. But we're winning right now, so I'm not going to be too upset or lose any sleep about that. It's nice to see we've come back from the hole we dug ourselves in at the beginning of the year. But it's an exciting time for hockey, and I'm excited to see, where it's going. The wild card race is so tight in the Pacific, as we talked about earlier, that it's going to come right down to the last week, I imagine, for a few teams to get that wild card spot.
That's always the best time of year.
Like with Vegas's win today, that puts Edmonton in the second wild card spot. So here's how it is. Edmonton and San Jose have the first and second wild card spots, both at 39 points. Vegas is in third with 40 points. Anaheim in second in the Pacific with 41. And then darn Flamers up in Calgary there at 46. So if Edmonton wins tonight, they'll leapfrog Vegas and Anaheim to be second in the Pacific. So Edmonton Oilers, let's keep it going, boys. Let's get a win today, and we got to keep pace with these Pacific Division rivals, because the Sharks aren't letting down. No one's letting down other than the Los Angeles and good old Josh's team, the Canucks there. So
yeah, and Arizona, they won't make the playoffs again, but
yeah.
Well, I guess they could, but I wouldn't count on it.
Are you a fan of Brian Burke at all? Do you like him as a commentator?
Yeah, I do, because he's always like going against the grain, and he looks like kind of drunk, kind of mad all the time. So
it's that Irish in him.
Yeah,
I love having him because
he's like just so close to a meltdown all the time, right? So yeah, I do like him.
And you hear things from him as a former GM that you wouldn't hear from any other sportscaster, right? Like I love the story he was going on about Yakupov in that draft, right? That he got into a fight with his scouts, and we would have never known that if Berkey wasn't on on the panel. So I love seeing Berkey on the panel there. One quick question for you: who's your most disliked sportscaster? Sportsnet TSN. Who can you not stand the most?
It's not even that I can't stand him. I just think he's like, just like vapid, right? Kelly Rudy.
Yeah,
he's just like he's always just like just smiling at the camera, and they're like, he's always like, well, when I was the goalie, and I mean, I don't know. I like him because he's just like the idiot of the group, and they need that there. It makes everybody else look good. Makes everybody else look smart.
I'm totally going to view these shows in a different way now. I never thought of that. That's never crossed my mind. I love that.
Yeah.
He's actually coming, the Pronghorns put on a thing every year, guest speaker, and raise money for the Pronghorns athletics. And it's actually Kelly Rudy this year. So
I'm sure he's an awesome dude.
He'll be gracing our town here soon.
Listening to him is just like...
Mine is Nick Kyprios.
Yeah.
I cannot stand that guy whatsoever.
Well, he took a few too many to the head, too.
Exactly,
so probably has something to do with it.
Pretty much anytime he tweets something crazy, I'll tweet that picture of him lying on the ice after.
This is why he said that.
Yeah. Also, Drew Remenda. Everyone, no one can stand Drew Remenda.
Yeah,
I love him as a San Jose.
No, even then I'm just like, he gets on my nerves.
He's so bad. So bad. Looks like we're winding down here, guys. The Mr. Clean guy. Who's the Mr. Clean guy, Hope says?
Mr. Clean guy?
Damian Cox, probably. He's pretty bad as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's not very much on the hockey shows at night, but he is absolutely horrible. And I'm 100% sure that's who she's talking about is the Cox. Well, yeah, it looks like we're winding down here. We're excited to keep doing this show. We love coming here and chatting with everyone and just throwing out there what's going on in the world of sports. Today was a hockey-only episode, as when you miss a week, to fill in 2 weeks of the sports world is going to take up the whole show. So we just thought we'd sit here and talk some hockey. Both our teams are doing good. We want to talk about it.
So we're happy about it, yeah.
Exactly.
When we're doing terrible, we'll be like, let's just talk about basketball or something.
Yeah, we're not throwing fisticuffs or nothing. I'd like to give another shout-out to Eric Pierce for coming on the show the last time, 2 weeks ago, the guard for the Pronghorns Athletics. I'm going to take you up on that offer to put me on the list to come view some games. I think you're actually playing tonight in town. So go, Eric. I hope you guys pull this one out. I had a great show with you. That was really fun. If there's anyone watching who has anything to do with sports in any way and they want to be a guest on the show, feel free to get a hold of me or Jess or Ryan or whoever. We can always plan that. We love having guests in here that we can talk about what they do. Especially local talent. It's always good getting out there what great talent we have in this great city of Lethbridge.
We should do some post-game interviews with the boys that we play road hockey with.
I was actually thinking about that today. Yeah, it's called TTHL. It's a road hockey, not really a league, but it's just a bunch of buddies we play road hockey with on Sundays. And I was thinking about doing that, bringing Scott in or something in his gear or something like that, right?
Yeah, just doing like classic, cliche post-game interviews.
And we'll do it like all vintage where we'll have handlebar mustaches or something. So we're constantly thinking of ways to make this show more enjoyable for everyone and have more audience interaction. We've been at 5,000 views or so with these shows, so I thank you all very much for watching the show. We love bringing it to you. And if you want to discuss anything, have any recommendations, please feel free to let us know. We're always looking to get better and to keep entertaining the masses. So that pretty much wraps it up for today. We got a big game tonight, Vancouver and Oilers, so we'll see how that one goes. And will you be here next week on Sunday?
Yeah, I'll be here for sure.
Perfect. So you heard it here first. Snides will be with me again on Sunday, 5 to 6. We might switch up the times, 5:30 to 6:30. I'll keep you posted on that. But hey, everyone, thanks for watching, and keep it golden.